Hi, this is Kylie Thompson, host of Food for Thought. Thanks for listening to the following podcast on Public House Media. Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast on whatever day it is that you are tuning in. I am your host, Jenna Burt. I'm a military spouse of 10 years, a mom, a registered and certified dental assistant, and soon to be certified phlebotomist. Again, I just want to say thank you for taking me with you wherever you are and being here with me today. And if you find that anything in today's episode resonates with you, or if you know of someone else who might be interested in hearing this episode, please share it. And as always, I appreciate any and all feedback. So if you would like to leave me some feedback, please feel free to email me at confessionsofamilspouse@gmail.com. Or you can find me on Facebook at Confessions of a Military Spouse, Instagram at Confessions of a Mil Spouse, or at publichousemedia.org. Now, before I jump in, I want to warn you, this episode will be a very explicit episode. So if you have kids in the car, your mom is in the car, your pastor's in the car, whatever, and you don't want them hearing what I'm about to say, make sure that you turn it off and you listen to it when you are by yourself. And yes, as you can tell by the title, I went there. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you're a military spouse, you may have been living under a rock. And even if you're not a military spouse, you may still know what I'm talking about. But whether you are or are not a military spouse and are wondering what I'm talking about, well, I'm going to tell you right now. We all know that TikTok is the hip new thing, and admittedly, I've somewhat jumped on board myself, although it definitely made me realize how old I am, considering that I had to reach out to younger people or my friends' kids to tell me how it works. No joke. But it's just another form of social media, honestly. So why am I talking about this, and why is the title of my episode, Oorah, He's a Marine? Oh, man. Because something happened recently that has become pretty well known, especially in the military spouse community regarding TikTok, that I want to talk about. And before I dive in, I want you all to know that if you're listening, I did try to contact on multiple different platforms the woman I am about to speak of, to have her on my show regarding this topic. But unfortunately, I was unsuccessful in reaching her. So homegirl, if you are listening right now, please reach out to me. Or if you are close enough to this woman to know how to get in contact with her, please let her know that I am trying to reach her, because I would love to have her on my show to hear her side of the story and really talk about what she has experienced from all of this. So if I have you curious enough to wonder what I'm talking about, I'm going to tell you, and I'm also going to share why I think it's so important to talk about this. You know, I've briefly talked about this topic, I guess, before, but it's more prevalent now than ever. And honestly, it needs to be talked about again. So back to TikTok. There is a girl who I will not name because she's already got enough heat coming at her, who made a TikTok video about her being a Marine spouse. And you're probably thinking, what's the big deal with that? It's just a TikTok. But it was a parody to the Megan Thee Stallion. I think that's who sings this song. Oh God, that's bad. Anyway, I think it's Megan Thee Stallion who sings the Savage song, which there's been a TikTok about for I don't even know how long now. And I'm sure that you have all seen that TikTok. But instead of using that music or those words, she made her own words in a similar dance to that Savage TikTok, all about her being a Marine spouse. And at the end, she says, "Oorah, he's a Marine." Hence where the title of this episode came from. Now, if you're a military spouse, you pretty much know that flaunting or advertising or even being proud of being a military spouse is one of the most frowned upon things. Why is it so frowned upon? I'm honestly not sure, and it's something I've been trying to figure out for a while, but yet I still don't have an answer. So why do I think that this specific TikTok video is so important to discuss? Well, to be honest, because of the backlash that this woman received after posting this video. So she posted this video and it became an internet sensation, but not in the way anyone would want to become an internet sensation. It's from my understanding that she has since taken the video down because of the messages she was receiving, which I'll get into in just a minute. But she took that video down from her TikTok, but I'm sure you could find it on Facebook, which is actually where I saw it, or probably any other social media platform. After releasing the video, she did post quote-unquote follow-up videos on TikTok addressing her original video and her haters. But if I remember correctly, I think she's taken those down as well. So I did create a TikTok for Confessions of a Military Spouse, but I have since deleted it from my phone for numerous different reasons. But I did get back on there to try and watch her videos and see what all she said following her original video, because it was a 6-part video. But she had taken them down by that time. So I only had a chance to see one part of those 6 videos. And I also tried to reach out to her on TikTok, but unless you are friends on TikTok, you can't message each other. Thanks, TikTok. So, to be honest, when I saw the original video, I thought she was making it as a joke because I thought there was no way that she would make that video seriously, because I knew what would come after it if she did. So I did do a little research to find out that in fact she was serious about the video. And I think that's one of the things that she said in her follow-up, or maybe she made a statement on Facebook or something, was that she in fact was serious. So one of the things that I think though she got so much backlash for was the fact that her husband was standing behind her at parade rest the entire time, just staring straight as if a ceremony or something was going on. And I think people had a hard time wrapping their head around the fact that he would just stand there and watch her as she did this video. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you've ever been on a military spouse group, she should have known the backlash that was going to come from something like this, which is why I honestly wanted to do this episode. So the video goes something along the lines of, he's a Marine, first to fight, he's loyal, honor, courage, commitment, core values, semper fi, Oorah, he's a Marine. And you guys, the video is all but 16 seconds long. But 16 seconds apparently is enough to ruin her entire image, sadly. And one thing I do have a hard time wrapping my head around is why people have been so nasty to her. And I'll get to what I mean by nasty to her in a minute, but I don't understand why she's gotten such a hard time. And I say that because that video, I mean, is that video my cup of tea? No, it's not. But it obviously is hers. So, I mean, I let her do her. I mean, I didn't reshare it. The only comment I made regarding it was that I was worried people would give me a hard time about making a podcast called Confessions of a Military Spouse. But then there's this video. To be honest, I didn't care that she made it, what it said, or anything like that. If she was happy when she did it, then why did it matter? But this is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the spouse community. We should have done better as a spouse community, and we didn't. We wonder why. Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't wonder because I know. But people wonder why military spouses have such a bad reputation. This right here is exactly why we have such a bad reputation. I hate to put myself even in that category, but I'm sure I'm guilty of it at some point as well. And if you can't tell, this, seriously gets me fired up. Being a military spouse is hard enough. Being a woman is hard enough. Being anything in this world right now apparently is hard enough. And we don't need anything or anyone else making it that much harder. Now, I know some of you are going to say that she had it coming to her and what did she expect? But you guys, that right there is my exact point. Why is it acceptable as a military spouse community to even begin to think that she knew what she had coming, or what did she expect? The point is that it's not okay, but we have done so bad as a military spouse community that backlashing on someone or something that we don't agree on has become the norm. And it is honestly sickening. I hesitated to even start this podcast for that exact reason. I was terrified of the backlash I would get, of the names I would be called, and of the bad things that would be said about me for doing it. But I'm at the point in my life, I truly don't give a shit. And I knew if I helped one spouse from this podcast that I had done my job. But yet here I am, almost 2 years later, reaching thousands of spouses, and that is an amazing feeling. Let's talk about this backlash, since I am clearly heated about it and on that topic already. The backlash not only came from the women, or for the woman who made the video, but also her husband. Active duty members and military spouses were literally tearing them apart. They probably still are. I mean, there have been so many memes and other disgusting things made from this one video that should have never happened. It got so bad that the woman started defending her husband and her husband defending his wife. I mean, obviously as they should, but why? Why should they have to defend anything or anyone at all? I mean, seriously, why? Do you know how many things I see on social media right now that I do not agree with, or that are not something I would do or partake in or what have you? Tons. To include something along the lines of these videos. But you know what I do? I just scroll right along. I may bitch to my husband about someone else's opinion, but you know what? It's just that. It's their opinion, which they're entitled to, just like I'm entitled to my own opinion. And we may not agree and our opinions may not be the same, but we can certainly agree to disagree. I promise you I've done it numerous times. This poor woman made a video that she was 100% serious about, and she felt in her heart, and she was torn apart because of it. People were calling her a dependa, and you guys know how I feel about that word. I've already talked about that, but who the fuck cares if she is in fact a dependa? Why do you need to call her that? I heard they told her she was only there for the TRICARE and BAH, which also falls under the quote-unquote dependa status. Ugh. And one of the memes that I saw about her husband was a picture of his face from the video with the caption, "When you realize you should have married the stripper from Jayville." Like, what? Why is that necessary to tear someone down like that? Believe it or not, I was picked on as a child, and it still haunts me to this day at 32 years old. And if someone came at me at 32 years old for something I was passionate about, well, I mean, to be quite honest, I'd probably tell you to go fuck yourself. But it doesn't mean that it's still not going to hurt. We're all grown-ass adults in the military world. I mean, you do have to be 18 to join the military, and usually the same to get married. So why do we feel the need to be so childish and pick on someone and tear someone apart the way y'all are doing this to this woman and her husband? I literally don't get it. She's proud to be a Marine spouse, and honestly, I think we could all learn a little bit from her. I'm proud to be a military spouse too. Now, would I share it in the way she did? No. Why wouldn't I share it in that way? Well, to be honest, because of what I'm talking about right now. I don't think that I have thick enough skin to take a backlash the way she has taken it. I think part of the reason I haven't been able to contact her is because she's pretty much ghosted all of social media, because I've heard she's even received death threats. And I don't know about you, but if I received death threats, I'd probably lay low for a bit too. But for the love of God, why should anyone ever receive death threats over a damn TikTok video? Thank God this woman has thick skin, because I can imagine with the messages she's receiving that if she wasn't, it would probably, if she didn't have the thick skin that she has, it would probably cross her mind to commit suicide. And I am being 100% serious about that, because lest we not forget the poor spouse who took her own life because she was being bullied in a spouse group for her specific base. You guys, like, wake up. This is no different. If you're sharing this video, if you're saying these things, if you're making these memes, and if you are partaking in the bullshit surrounding this video, then you, my friend, are part of the problem that absolutely needs to be fixed. Bullying is not okay in any way, shape, or form. And to say she had it coming to her is the exact problem that needs to be fixed. She's a proud spouse, a proud Marine spouse. Who fucking cares? I mean, really, is it harming you that she's a proud spouse? Let me answer that for you. No, it's not. It's not harming you. It's not harming her. It's not harming her spouse. So why does it matter to anyone that she made this TikTok video and the context behind it? If anything, we should have been sharing it saying, wow, look how proud this woman is, or look how supportive she is. Not, wow, look how dumb she looks, or wow, I can't believe her husband stood there and watched her. My husband would have blah, blah, blah. Why are we as spouses so damn scared to be proud? Better yet, why is it acceptable for it to be known that it's frowned upon to be a proud spouse? This is the exact shit that clearly boils my blood and made me pursue this podcast to expose the honest truth about being a military spouse and why our suicide rate is so damn high. Let me breathe for a minute. So, now that I've gotten all of that frustration out of my system, which to be honest, I don't even think it's all out. I could probably go on for hours about this, but I'm going to leave you with this. The military spouse system is clearly broken, and in my opinion, it's shattered into a million little pieces. And it so badly needs to be fixed, but it will never be fixed until someone makes a change. And you guys, that someone is you. If you are listening to this right now, that someone is you. I know it may seem trivial, but you literally have the power to change the name that military spouses have. So the next time something like this happens, because you know it will, be the one to either keep scrolling or tell your friends to be nice, or better yet, reach out to that spouse and tell them you think what they're doing is great. But also share with them the risk that comes with it, because we all know military spouses can be straight up bitches. To be honest, military spouses remind me a lot of the movie Mean Girls, and I really hate to say that, but I see it day after day, and every time I see it, it seems more and more clear that that is our reality. And it will never change unless it's spoken about and efforts are made to change it. So please be the one to make the changes and to give the military spouse community a good name, not the shitty one that we have already. Thank you for being here with me today and listening to this episode. Like I said, if this episode resonates with you or you know someone else who needs to hear this, please share it. And, you know, if you're the creator of this TikTok video, I want you to know that you are not alone in this crazy-ass military spouse world. And I am proud of you for making the video. I'm proud of you for standing up to your haters. And you guys, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast listening platform so you never miss an episode.